Most people say they fear loneliness, but that is not fully true. What they actually fear is being left alone with their own thoughts. When there is noise, people, messages, and movement, the mind stays distracted. But when everything becomes quiet, something uncomfortable appears. Thoughts rise, regrets surface, questions emerge. And suddenly, being alone feels heavy. This episode is not about isolation. It is about understanding why silence feels painful, and how learning to be alone can quietly rebuild a broken inner world. The problem: why being alone feels so heavy. Being alone should feel neutral. Yet for many people, it feels like punishment. The problem is not solitude itself. The problem is that most people have never built a relationship with themselves. Their sense of worth comes from interaction, attention, and presence of others. When people leave, even temporarily, the mind interprets it as rejection. Silence becomes proof of unworthiness, and the heart starts searching for someone, anyone, to fill the space. This is why some people stay in unhealthy relationships, why they tolerate disrespect, why they fear endings more than pain. They are not afraid of losing others. They are afraid of facing themselves without distraction. Why distraction feels necessary in modern life teaches one lesson very well: never be alone with your thoughts. Phones, videos, music, social media, all of it keeps the mind occupied. Not because people are lazy, but because silence exposes inner wounds. Distraction works like medicine with side effects. It numbs pain temporarily, but it never heals the cause. And over time, the need for distraction increases. A person who cannot sit quietly for 10 minutes is not weak. They are wounded. And wounds ignored do not disappear. They deepen. Story to relate: there was a man. He was not weak. He was just afraid of being alone. When people looked at him, they saw a calm, patient boy. Someone who tried to make things work. Someone who never gave up. But inside, he was constantly exhausted. He was in a relationship that slowly drained him. Not with shouting every day. Not with obvious cruelty. But with control, emotional pressure, and constant blame. Every small mistake became a big issue. His words were misunderstood. His intentions questioned. He found himself apologizing, even when he didn't know what he had done wrong. At first, he told himself this was normal, that relationships require sacrifice, that patience proves love. But deep down, he felt smaller every day. Why he stayed? He didn't stay because he was happy. He stayed because he was scared. Scared of empty nights. Scared of silence. Scared of waking up alone and questioning his worth. Whenever he imagined leaving, his mind created terrifying pictures. A life with no messages, no shared moments, no one waiting. The pain he knew felt safer than the unknown he didn't. So he stayed. And slowly, he began losing parts of himself. He stopped speaking openly. He avoided conflict even when he was hurt. He adjusted his behavior to avoid arguments. His world became smaller, quieter, and more controlled. But the relationship never became peaceful, because fear is never a foundation for love. The moment of realization one evening, after another long argument, he sat alone in his room. Not angry, not sad, just tired. For the first time, he didn't reach for his phone. He didn't distract himself. He sat in silence. And in that silence, a thought appeared. If I am already this lonely while being with someone, what exactly am I afraid of? That question stayed with him. He realized something painful but honest. He was not afraid of being alone. He was afraid of facing himself without someone else filling the space. The practical steps that saved him, he didn't leave immediately. He didn't make dramatic decisions. He started with small steps. First, he practiced silence. 10 minutes a day without noise, without scrolling, without distraction. It felt uncomfortable at first. His mind raced, emotions surfaced, but he stayed. Second, he began writing. Not messages to fix the relationship, but thoughts to understand himself. He wrote about what he felt after every argument, about how his body reacted, about the fear that kept him stuck. Patterns appeared on paper. Third, he reduced emotional dependence. He stopped seeking constant reassurance. When anxiety hit, instead of calling or texting, he waited. He breathed. He asked himself what he actually needed. And slowly, something changed. He felt stronger. The turning point, the relationship didn't suddenly improve, but he did. He started setting small boundaries, speaking calmly but clearly, not apologizing for emotions, not explaining himself endlessly. The reaction was immediate. The more stable he became, the more uncomfortable the relationship felt. That's when he understood the final truth. A relationship that only works when one person is afraid is not a relationship. It is a cage. Choosing himself when he finally walked away, it wasn't dramatic. There were no loud fights, no long speeches, just a quiet decision. The silence that followed was painful. The nights were heavy. Doubt came often. But this time, he stayed with it. And something unexpected happened. The fear of being alone faded. And in its place, peace slowly arrived. He learned that being alone is not emptiness. It is space. Space to heal. Space to grow. Space to choose a future without fear. The lesson: he didn't escape a relationship. He escaped fear. And in doing so, he saved himself from a marriage that would have slowly erased who he was. The core truth: loneliness vs. solitude. Loneliness is not the absence of people. It is the absence of connection with yourself. Solitude, on the other hand, is chosen. It is calm. It is grounding. When you depend on others to feel complete, being alone feels like loss. But when you build inner stability, solitude feels like rest. The fear of being alone is actually the fear of facing unresolved emotions. Once those emotions are understood, silence stops being threatening. Peace does not come from company. It comes from inner clarity. Why most people never learn this? Most people avoid solitude because it requires honesty. Being alone removes all excuses. There is no one to blame, no one to impress, no one to distract. This level of honesty is uncomfortable. So people choose noise over truth. They mistake constant connection for fulfillment. They confuse attention with love. They replace self-awareness with approval. And slowly, without realizing it, they lose the ability to sit with themselves. The first rule of solitude: you do not run from silence. You meet it. Solitude is not something you fall into. It is something you practice. And like any skill, it feels awkward at first. The mind resists stillness because it has been trained to react. But once the resistance passes, clarity appears. This is where healing begins. Practical steps: learning to be alone without fear. Learning to be alone is not something that happens suddenly. It is not a decision you make once and become strong the next day. It is a process of rebuilding trust with yourself. The first and most important step is this: stop treating distraction like a cure. Phones, videos, conversations, and constant noise feel comforting, but they only delay the problem. Every time you escape discomfort, you teach your mind that silence is dangerous. Instead, start with intentional quiet time. 5 to 10 minutes a day is enough in the beginning. Sit somewhere calm. No phone, no music, no task. Your mind will resist. Thoughts will race. Anxiety may appear. This is normal. Do not fight it. Do not try to feel peaceful. Just stay. The goal is not comfort. The goal is familiarity. When the mind realizes that silence does not harm you, fear slowly loses its power. Most people fail here because they try to escape loneliness instead of understanding it. These steps are not about forcing confidence. They are about slowly removing fear. Start small. 5 minutes of intentional silence each day is enough. Sit without your phone, without music, without tasks. Let the mind speak. Do not judge your thoughts. Do not fight them. Just observe. If discomfort arises, stay. Discomfort is not danger. It is information. Over time, the mind settles. The emotional noise reduces, and solitude becomes familiar instead of frightening. Next, reduce emotional dependency. Learn to pause before seeking reassurance. Ask yourself what you are truly feeling. This step changes everything. Discomfort does not mean something is wrong. It means something is being revealed. Instead of fixing loneliness, sit with it. Feel it in the body. Notice where it lives: chest, stomach, throat. Do nothing. This teaches your nervous system that discomfort is survivable. And once the body learns this, the fear of being alone begins to dissolve naturally. Write if needed. Silence reveals patterns, and writing organizes them. Finally, understand this deeply. You are not empty when alone. You are unoccupied. And an unoccupied mind is where growth begins. The first and most important step is this: closing, the quiet strength. Being alone is not weakness. It is strength that has not yet been discovered. Those who learn to sit with themselves no longer chase validation. They choose relationships, not depend on them. Solitude teaches patience. Silence teaches truth. And self-connection teaches peace. If you can be alone without fear, you can face life without running.